When I got out of the military, I had a hard time translating my military experience into the civilian world. I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for my wife, I probably would have been that homeless or impoverished vet. But it can be easier with the right support. I'm Mark Casper, and I'm the Executive Director of Tech4Troops. In today's world, you have to have a computer to be able to apply for jobs. Our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce.
Here at Tech4Troops, we're here to push you forward to get you back to where you want to be in life. When the veterans come in, I teach them everything you could think of that's done with a computer. I want them to feel that this is a tool that's going to help them get their life back.
I went into a kind of a deep depression. Eventually, I lost my job and I was out on the street. The computer was able to connect me to the web, and I was able to start putting resumes out. And you have to have these small building blocks to get from point A to point B. I'm not worried about employment anymore.
The need is great, and we want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
Welcome everybody to the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troops Lone Star 140 at the Circuit of the Americas. Thank you for tuning in. I am Rick Souza here, joined in the booth by my co-broadcaster John DeRudris. And John, this is something new for these guys.
Just a little bit, I'd say. We are at Circuit of the Americas here in Texas, and this is one of the most technical tracks that these drivers are going to face. It's a lot of sweeping corners, a lot of hard braking hairpins, a lot of hard 90-degree turns, and a lot of chances to either be a hero or be zero here at the end of the day. And it's one of the toughest tracks in these cars because visibility is tough, braking zones are tough, trying to get your car dialed in and having the right strategy at the end of the day could be coming down to just how many people or who makes the least amount of mistakes. So we'll see who ends up at the top right now. We're looking at Charles Van Scoik at the top with Hannah, Clayman, Pittman, and Vaughn, your current top five for qualifying with about a minute and a half to go. But Rick, I would say this is kind of a wild card race.
Absolutely. So this is the second race of the first round of the playoffs, and it's sandwiched in between. The first race was a mile and a half. Now we're at the most technical, most challenging road course on the circuit. And then you've got Bristol next week. So 3 different types of events for all of these guys. But this is 20 turns left and right that these guys are going to have to execute with some fairly challenging S's and sweepbacks and hard turns.
Yeah, it's going to be entertaining to say the least. coming up through here. We go turn 1. This is Luke Bullard now approaching turn 1. You can see how hot those rear brakes are getting in that 3-car, technically overshot that corner. And this is what's going to be, talking about a little bit further on, kind of diving into a key really quick. But I mentioned it before, surviving. I mean, this is going to be one of those racetracks where if you can keep your car on the track, not go over the incident limit where you don't have to come through and make a drive-through penalty, nobody's going to get disqualified, which is good. That is removed for this race because of the incident points. But, it's going to be, I think, the drivers who are going to be able to make the least amount of mistakes. And they may run a slower lap time, but at the end of the day, where do you want to be? Have 15 incidents and you finish 10 seconds ahead of the guy behind you? Or do you want to be that guy that pushes it really hard and could possibly ruin his race in the closing minutes because he went over the incident limit? It's that risk and versus reward that you play here. So qualifying, I think, just wrapped up. So
all right, so let's cover a couple of things, John. Let's cover
let's
first.
Do it.
Let's cover first the current playoff standings with these drivers. So right now it's round of 16th, first race. Ty Bostic won last week. The cutoff with this league is at 10. So really the guy at the bubble is David Clayman. He's at 10:31, but everybody behind him, there's only basically 1 point for the next 4 guys. Maurice Burnett is out by 2, Mark Hanna by 6, William Mann Jr. by 10. So really, it's the first round. Anything can happen. But let's look at a couple other things at this point. We've got a grid that's set. Why don't we look at the grid?
Let's do it. Let's look at the starting lineup for tonight's Tech4Troops Lone Star 140. Looks like Charles Van Scoik is going to be our pole setter for tonight's Lone Star 140 with Mark Hanna to his outside in third. You have David Clayman. Fourth, Jesse Vaughn. Ryan Pittman starting in fifth. Harley Barletta in sixth. Zach Ward and Christoph Hall make up seventh and eighth. Luke Bullard and Joey Doucette round out the top 10.
All right, and that means in 11th, William Mann Jr. 12th is Philip Vandertwick. You've got Bullard in 9th, Doucette in 10th, William Mann Jr. in 11th. I guess we've already done that. Philip Vandertwick in 12th, Jeff Nairn in 13th, Sean Skytman in 14th, Ian Ogden in 15th, Sammy Harrell in 16th, Maurice Burnett is in 17th, David Watts is in 18th, John Ledger in 19th, and Ty Bostic is in 20th. That's the entries tonight. 20 brave souls to challenge this track.
Exactly. Really quick, Rick, let's see if we can bring up my 3 keys to the race. It's going to be very quick, very easy.
Go ahead.
Here at Circuit of the Americas. Qualify up front. That's going to matter. Track position at the start of the race is going to be very important. And right now, Charles Van Scoik in that 41 car. There's 41 laps in this race. Could this be his week to make his ticket into the next round? You have the second key, which is only take fuel. You're really not going to need tires here. So it looks like the field's going underway, but we have about a few seconds. You need to take fuel because you don't want to waste the time on pit road and potentially lose all that time that you would gain. So I say only take fuel. The third thing, you got to survive. You got to make it around here. You got to be able to keep your car clean. Stay off the incident limit totals. Those are going to be very, very difficult to do when you're racing side by side, going through the S's, trying to make some positions gained or trying to defend. So it's going to be a tough race. I think survive is the biggest thing as we see the field making their way through one of the more technical portions of the back end of the track. So we'll see how this spans out. There's no cautions in this race, so it's going to be all the way through. Technically, there will be local cautions, but we are not going to throw any full course yellows. So this race is going to run all the way through.
There's already a couple of, I think, some banging that was going on just at the start of this. Sean Skytman is on pit road. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Maybe just starting from pit road.
I don't know. I haven't looked. I'm going to go back and take a little bit of a rewind. I don't see him on the track at all.
Yeah,
so
he's still on pit road. So
yeah, he may just be starting from the pits.
Yeah.
Not a bad option. But here we go. We're about to get into turn 20. Pace car dips down onto this very long front stretch here at Circuit of the Americas. They are about to enter the Geico restart zone, and we are about to get the green flag for tonight's Lone Star 140. Field stacks up and we're green. Green flag in the air as the field dives down into turn one. Rick, who's going to be the bolt taker and go down low?
Oh gosh, this is one of the most challenging turns on the course. Easy to make a mistake. You can see that puff of tire smoke as these guys are locking it up. But
everyone made it?
Yep, looks like that. Everyone has made it through, working their way through the S's. There was some contact. Ian Ogden, I think, ran off course.
They're side by side. We got a spinner in the back.
Christoph Hall, I think.
Yep, Christoph Hall getting involved.
David Clayman has kind of taken over first.
But look at his back door. There's Charles Van Scoik right on his tail. Van Scoik got a little loose. Let's see if Van Scoik maybe try to go to the bottom here. Oh, did Clayman overshoot the corner? No, I think he's good, but will Van Scoik have a better run out of the corner to maybe pass him here on this next corner? Not
Taking a bit of a wide shot here. This is from our blimp cam. Able to kind of look and pick up a few more vehicles as they're headed down. Let's bring up our track map so our viewers can actually figure out where they are coming to. This is, again, one of the more challenging turns on the course.
See a couple of dive bombs going on in the back. That was Harley Barletta and Jesse Vaughn battling side by side, and a couple more battles going on. Car really off. Don't know who that is over in the gravel trap and a spin. That is the 48, I believe. And a couple drivers on back. So that's a 19 John Ledger running off course. Yeah, the 48 of Vanderswick.
Yep, was off course. He was involved. We can kind of go back and see just what happened with these guys. Oh.
A little bit of contact, I'd say.
A little bit of contact, yeah, absolutely.
Here we go. One lap complete, though. David Clayman and Charles Van Scoik make their way into turn one. What's going to happen this time? Clayman takes a low road. Van Scoik takes a little bit more of a broader approach. Here comes the 45 of Mark Hanna. Not going to be enough. Clayman still controls the lead.
So this is Circuit of the Americas. It's in Austin, Texas. You've seen F1 run here. I think IMSA has run here as well. It's 20 turns, as you can see by the track map. A lot of difficult and challenging turns. This is not just go fast, turn left.
No, it's go fast, turn left, slow down, turn right, brake, full throttle. Don't spin your tires while also racing against other people, you know, because it is a race. So right now we've got a little bit of action going on here in the front. We'll see what happens now. There's a 17 of Clayman hitting the corner, blocks it up just a little bit, but does a good job. Top four kind of under a little bit of a blanket right now. They kind of separated themselves from the rest of the field. That is Clayman, Van Scoik, Hanna, and Pittman. You have Vaughn in fifth, Doucette in sixth, Barletta in seventh, Luke Bullard eighth, Ward in ninth, and Bostic rounding out your top 10.
Your top four have a little bit of an advantage, I think, between Ryan Pittman and Jesse Vaughn. There's about 4 seconds that separate them from their next pack. Back with Jesse Vaughn.
Ian Ogden, I believe, just spun out in the back. He's trying to get back underway there. Had some contact. We can recap a little bit of what happened here.
Go back and show what happened to Ian. Just going around, it's easy to spin. Winds up spinning out.
Yep. And there's John Ledger overshooting the same corner again. He's had trouble with that corner right there. I got to do the math. I can't remember which corner that is, but that is in Sector 3, going into Sector 3, which is one of the most technical corners or technical portions of the track. But right now, David Clayman out front. Rick, I told you in the pre-race, I think this could be a day where Clayman could possibly lock himself into the playoffs. So we'll see if that holds true. Obviously, a lot of racing to go.
Yep, we got 41 laps for you here tonight in Texas. David Clayman is right now leading, and he's got, when looking at David's expertise, he's got a lot of time, a lot of seat time in road courses, so he kind of comes in as a favorite, as does really William Mann Jr. He's got an A-class license on the on road courses, but really your top 5 are A's and B's. So we've got a lot of expertise out there on the road circuits that they're trying to get done here with this car. Again, we're watching your leader, David Clayman. We're going to hop back maybe car by car and just give you a peek of who's out there doing what.
Let's do it.
Let's see who's behind David. Right there on his tail is Charles Van Scoik. Charles is pretty
Currently
fast
sitting,
during practice.
He was, yeah, and he's sitting right now. I believe he is sitting in 7th place when it comes to the playoffs. So a good run for him could help propel himself. Oh, it looks like David Clayman had a little bit of an issue.
Yeah,
as the battle now closes up.
Turn. Yep, that tightened right back up. Now behind Charles Van Scoik is Mark Hanna doing a fabulous job here on the road courses.
Now he is sitting 15th in points, so he needs a good day today, and we may see that out of that car. It looks like Harley Barletta. I'm watching my other screen here, Rick, just to make sure we're not missing any incidents. Some battling going on a little bit further on back, but let's look at Ryan Pittman. Ryan Pittman sitting 4th in the standings right now. A lot of bonus points, had a great season, and so he's looking to have a good run here to propel himself to be one of those championship 4. So he's sitting 4th in the playoff standings. Here's Jesse Vaughn, not in the playoffs, but still love the paint scheme. He's doing great things here, and he was good at Chicago, if you remember.
He was. He certainly was. So road courses definitely are in his bucket. So and sitting right behind Jesse, you've got Joey Doucette right there.
Yep, Doucette. He's looking for another strong run. He's sitting there in 8th, right behind Charles Van Scoik, only 1 point behind. So his goal is to finish ahead of Van Scoik. That's kind of his plan right now, to finish ahead of him to get more points. So Joey Doucette, mid-pack when it comes to the playoff standings. Another playoff driver to pay attention to. We got Harley Barletta. Harley Barletta is another playoff driver. He is sitting 6th in points right now, just 5 points ahead of Van Scoik and 6 points ahead of his teammate Joey Doucette. So good run for him. Bullard, let's talk about Luke Bullard. Season opener, got his first win, and he's sitting 3rd in points, 9 top 5s, 10 top 10s, or 11 top 10s. He's always a contender at the end of the day in the MB2 Motorsport crew.
He just needs to be competitive tonight. He doesn't have to be crazy. Just get around, be patient, and just let this race come to him.
Right, as he just made a great move on Harley Barletta. See if Harley Barletta crosses him over. Barletta does. But in the row back number 7, Zach Ward. Let's talk about Zach Ward a little bit. He's been up near the front. He had a really strong qualifying, practice time. So Zach Ward's still battling up there.
All right, behind Zach, you've got Ty Bostic, another one of the NB2 Motorsports crew. Again, Ty Bostic has had fabulous. He's already punched his ticket into the playoffs. He won last week in Kentucky, and so Ty just needs to, just get around.
Yep, get around here. Even if he has a DNF, he still has a decent cushion when it comes to points. He doesn't want to lose any points, but right now, really, no matter where he finishes, he's going to be pretty much in the top 3 or top 4. So Ty Bostic there, currently sitting right there with Sammy Harrell, the guy who's in 2nd place in the standings right now. He has a win on the season, 4 top 5s, 8 top 10s. Sammy Harrell was one of those newcomers with the GOAT team. So good to see him running fairly strong in the regular season, enough to where it propels him to 2nd place, Rick. So, these GOAT racing guys, as another one right here, Christoph Hall, they know how to get around, and we always see this every week. They're always around each other, outside of Charles Van Scoik right now, but it always seems those guys typically are racing in the same camp.
They are. Another racer who is part of the NB2 team, Jeff Nairn.
Yep, Jeff Nairn, he's sitting back there tied for 11th in points. He is currently one of those drivers on the bubble, just 1 point behind David Clayman in 10th. So it's going to be a big race for him. If he can finish ahead of Ledger, if he can finish ahead of Christoph Hall, to get himself propelled, because he's had a great season, winning the last few weeks of the season, finally got it done. We'll see what he's able to do.
Yeah,
as we continue.
Just so you know, John Ledger did spin, so he is currently further on back in the pack. So we'll catch up with John in a minute. This is William Mann Jr.
William Mann Jr., talk about him a little bit. He is in the playoffs. He's currently sitting in the last spot, but he's had a decent season, 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s. It looks like Ty Bostic just spun out for the MB2 guys, but William Mann Jr., he's an awesome competitor in this series, so maybe he gets a surprise win here sometime soon. But looking on back, Sean Skytman, he's also in the playoffs, currently still tied for 11th, sitting 1 point behind that 10th place cutoff line. So we'll see how he performs. Rick, I think we had a pass for the lead. Van Scoik is now the leader, but moving a little bit further on back, we have Banner Twick. He is not a part of our playoff drivers, but he's sitting there in 16th. With Maurice Burnett, he's sitting back there in 14th in points in that 88 car. Good to have him on board, a part of the GOAT Racing team. Ian Ogden, talk about him a little bit. He's sitting 5th in points, 3 top 5s, 8 top 10s, and a win on the season. Puts him in decent contention with his teammate John Ledger there. John Ledger also, he's sitting right there 9th, so he's right on the bubble. So he needs a good day. 20th place, it's going to set him back a little bit, so we'll see what happens there. But going back out front, Rick, we have a new leader.
Yeah, let's go ahead and pick up that pass. I think we can bring that up on the replay. Right there, took the inside move.
That was a great pass through a technical area of the track. I mean, that's difficult to do. So Charles Van Scoik looking to punch his ticket into the round, I guess technically the round of 10, if you want to consider it, because 6 drivers going to be eliminated. So that's going to be very important for him, very important as he moves down late in this race. And, like I mentioned before, they're going to have to pit, obviously. We're only 6 laps into this race. It seems like we've been racing for forever at this point. But, what's going to matter is when you come down pit road, because you're going to have to pit for gas, and do you take tires? Because that's the question. Can you make it all the way 41 laps on one set? Maybe. Because typically in road racing, you don't take tires. Maybe you take tires on the second stint. But, I mean, if you're taking a full tank of gas,
you might as
well. Yeah, might as well get tires. But we'll see if anybody takes the gamble.
I'm just thinking, if you're struggling and you're getting around and you're going to be locking up a lot in some of these corners, you're going to wear those tires more than someone who's backing those corners up and is more patient in getting through them. So you may need to.
And that goes back to the strategy that I mentioned earlier, Rick. What do? Do you push hard? Do you make it to where you try to get out front as fast as possible and you wear your tires out, or do you get a little bit more patient? You're not going to run as fast, but you protect your equipment. Therefore, you may be able to make some of those late race strategy calls that could put you in a potential chance to win. There's 17 getting right to the back bumper, though, of Van Scoik. Let's see if David Clayman makes a move here going into 1. A little far back to do that, but 7 laps in, here we are. Van Scoik out front.
So we got 140 miles, which is this is a 3. Oh, here's a possible move. 140 miles, possibly 70 or so miles per tank. So I'm guessing that we'll see 1 needed fuel stop.
That makes a lot of sense. 1 needed stop, and we'll see how that plays out with the strategy. So that makes it about lap 20. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's what my guess is.
Yeah, that would be my estimate too. So I'll trust your judgment on that one. But what a shout out to these guys up front. They've been racing very clean. They've been racing very hard, and they've been keeping each other clean. It's been solid racing up here. Here comes the 17 going deep into the corner. That's one thing I've noticed is the 17 is able to have a lower trajectory into the corner where Van Scoik has a little bit of a higher line, but is able to get a better run off.
We can take the opportunity to go on board with the 17. You can
Very
see
clean.
just
Yeah.
exactly how he shifts. So you notice the car is all the way down in first gear as it works its way technically through those corners and hitting that apex. Sweeping turn to the right here, and he's going to come to a hard 90-degree turn. I think this is turn 19.
Yep, 19 is correct. And this is where you can gain or lose a lot of time, how you set up turn 20. And so this is going to be important to get a good drive off and not lose the rear end, which he did just a little bit right there, but still. Now let's see him go up through turn 1. What's his braking point?
Not
Wow.
quite the blue cone. It definitely went way deep.
I mean, he's really burning up. I mean, I didn't see any tire smoke off his car, but he's really waiting to get back up, or really to get on the brakes there going into 1.
He is aggressively working through the S's. You know, after 8 laps, this field is spread out over about half the track so far, but not really too stretched out.
No, not really. You know, the tail end of the field, John Ledger is back there working his way around turn 17 right now, about to be 18. So, yeah, not too bad. This is close. He got contact for the lead. David Clayman in the back of the 41 gives him the position.
Yeah, while that was
There was
always
some
going
contact.
on, we had some contact back, I think, between Ian Ogden and Sammy Harrow. Let's jump back to see what we see here.
Ian Ogden locks it up and a little bit loose.
Keeps it together. Let's see what happened with Sammy Harrell.
Oh, got on the curb. Good save though. I mean, he's gonna get a flat spot, but good save for not getting any incidents, and he's probably gonna save his car from getting in contact with the wall.
Yeah. And Maurice Burnett was also involved in something. Oh.
Oh,
Yep, there's some damage to that front end of that 88. And keeping up with our look of what's happening around track, let's look at Zach Ward.
a lot of stuff going on around lap 10, lap 9, lap 10. Rear brakes just all glowing right there.
Yep.
Well, that's what's happening around the track, and right now Van Scoik still back up to the point. Currently has about a little over a second gap on 17 of David Clayman there.
All right, so while this is going on, we're just going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back or so. Just stay with us. And thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troops Lone Star 140. right, welcome back to the Tech4Troops Cup Series here in Texas at the Circuit of the Americas. Thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast. So we've got about 20 competitors on track for second race of our first playoff round. Charles Van Scoik is currently leading. He put down an awesome lap. That last lap was 2:15.74. I think that was better than pole.
Yeah, it was. I'll double check that really quick, but our qualifying time was 15.781. He's running a 15.741. So Van Scoik out here running qualifying laps here at the road course. And I think that's what you can do if you take care of your equipment. And what that tells me is that these guys, especially Van Scoik, is taking care of his stuff. He is really, truly taking care of what he is going in and out of corners. He's able to just make sure the car is in one piece, not overcooking the tires and not locking it up. And I hope he doesn't lock it up going to this corner, because that's just a broadcaster's curse. But look at that. Just great corner entry, speed, great corner exit, smooth, doesn't lock it up, and that's how he's able to run the fastest lap of the race on lap 10.
Absolutely. So 10 laps are in out of our scheduled 41, so just over 25% in. We've got Charles Van Scoik off front, and not far on his tail is a 17 of David Clayman right there. Those two have kind of got a little bit of a gap of nearly 4 seconds over Ryan Pittman, who's currently sitting back in third place. Ryan Pittman's back here. He's got Mark Hanna battling, so it's kind of broken apart. A couple different groups. Looking, Ty Bostic may have gone off track a little bit. We'll just keep jumping back when we see something happening on the track. As you can see from our track map, it's pretty spread out as to what's happening on track.
Yeah, a lot of cars all over the place, and we're approaching possibly some lap down traffic here sometime soon. Cars on the lead lap are going into turn 20 right now. Cars that are at the tail end are just getting into turn 2 in the S's. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge as this race goes on to see what happens. But as it stands, field is all over the place. And, one thing I want to talk about, is looking at what the pit window is, because it looks like it is going to be around lap 20. I mean, this is a 3.5 mile circuit, so I think it could be on the earlier side of that. I mean, you may have to make 2 stops in this race to get it to the end, because if you do the math, 3.43 miles, I mean, it's a long way. Daytona, they pit, about lap 21, 22, is that correct, I believe? Yep, so I mean, it's going to be a little bit sooner, I think. And another thing that I'm paying attention to is who's fast in the sectors, and it looks like sector 2 for Charles Van Scoik is his best sector. He's the only one in the 31s, and so that's, I think, the big key. He is gaining so much time through the S's in the technical portion of the track. The only one that's even close to him is David Clayman, who is running a 32.1 in sector 1. So
we can bring up, I just brought up the sector information so we can see that.
Sector 2, rather.
Yeah, so Clayman has picked up a couple different, now they're coming into sector 3. We're bringing up sector 3. He's picking up, he's close. He certainly is close. He started out at 0.012, stretched it out a bit on sector 2, but came right back and caught up a little bit coming out of sector 3.
Yeah, I think sector 2 is where Van Scoik is really gaining the most amount of time on these guys, just comparatively. Nobody else has run a sub 32 second sector 2 outside of Charles Van Scoik. It ranges from 33 sevens, 34 flats, all the way down to Van Scoik's 31.95. So that's where I see him gaining, and he's actually not the fastest driver in sector 1. We've had some guys run sub 23.399s. So it's very interesting to see. how it plays out. But look at Clayman on the back end of that. Gains a lot of time.
Huge, big gainer for Clayman on the backside.
Oh, Van Scoik locked it up.
Oh, and Clayman wound up in the...
Yeah.
He spun out as well.
That's the thing. That's the fun part about road racing, Rick, is that you'll see a guy in front of you lock up and you're like, oh, I need to take advantage of this. So in the driver's mind, it's like, oh, I need to get more aggressive, which could mean, oh, I need to let off the gas and go faster, or, oh, I need to take advantage of this. But sometimes it's just, it doesn't need to work that way, because when you make that mistake or the driver in front of you makes that mistake, keep on running your line, because time over time in road course racing, it's not as just like you're going around an oval. You have 20 possibilities of mistakes. So one mistake stacked on top of another and another. Next thing you know, you're battling for the lead. So we'll see what happens.
So we can see with that time delta between starting on lap 6, it was they were pretty much neck and neck, but over time, these past 5 laps, Charles has kind of stretched out his gap between himself and David Clayman, but just one mistake happens, and he's right there.
Exactly, he is right there.
We don't often get the opportunity to use stuff like sector times and in our oval racing, but here we are. So that's lap 12 in the books. Oh, I guess David did go off track pretty good.
Yeah, I don't see. There he is.
He's definitely lost some time, nearly 5 seconds now to Charles Van Scoik. We go back and just see what happened.
I think he may have just locked it up. That's my best bet. His car wouldn't turn. Yep. Charles Van Scoik on pit road. Charles Van Scoik on pit road, Rick. On lap 12. So let's pay attention. Let's see what kind of work he gets done on his car. Because right now, he is the only one on pit road outside of... Jesse Vaughn's on pit road. Van Scoik is not getting tires, it looks like. Looks like he's only getting fuel. Well, Rick, there it is. There's the call. Fuel only.
Jesse
Vaughn.
Missed his pit. That hurt. Not as much.
He is getting tires.
He is getting tires.
Let's see what the delta is between his stop and Van Scoik's. 5 seconds.
He took right side.
Yep, exactly 5 seconds is the difference. Van Scoik a 9.25, Vaughn a 14.27. So 5 second difference. So that's a big difference.
So is the question? I guess the question is, does that one stop mean that they can go the rest of the race without stopping?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's the big question. That's a lot of laps, Rick. 30 laps. I just noticed this on my telemetry. Yeah, it looks like the 84 was off track.
There it is.
Oh no.
He spun.
That's just not what you want getting out of pit road. You had to, blew through your pit stall and then you spun out of 1. That's just not good for Vaughn. He ends up now outside of 10th place.
Ian Ogden is on pit road. Watching David Clayman.
Yep, I'll go to Ian Ogden's side and see what he does on pit road. Making his way down. He's the 3rd car to pit. Looks like Doucette was off track for a second. And here is Ogden on pit road. Ogden does not look like he is getting any tires. 9.07. Good stop for
Clayman
Ogden
in on pit.
Yep, let's see what Clayman does. And Mark Hanna on pit road as well.
Okay, so that's the big question. Can you just do it on one stop? Or is 13 laps going to be all you can get out of this car and you'll be stopping multiple times?
I don't know, right sides for Clayman and left sides for Clayman. That's going to be a 14.98 second stop for David Clayman there. And then for Mark Hanna, probably a similar time, 14.95 as Luke Bullard, Bostic, and Christoph Hall make their way down pit road. It looks like lap 13 going on 14 is the stop, is where you need it to be. So that would be, what, about 40 miles, Rick? A little over 40 miles?
3.42 miles.
Yeah, let's do some calculator math here. 3.43, multiply that by, let's just say 13. You're looking at 44 and a half. So 44 and a half miles that they can run, which if I do this again, that seems like lap 26 and lap 39, which is 2 to go. So that's the question. Is this going to be a 3-stop race with that? I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I have no clue.
Ryan Pittman is currently showing in the lead. Ryan has not stopped yet.
He hasn't. He currently sits well ahead of all the drivers right now. 10-second gap to Charles Van Scoik. There, it looks like Jeff Nairn was on pit road. A 15.5-second stop for Jeff.
Sounds like tires and fuel to me.
Yes, it does.
Good evening, gentlemen. How we doing tonight?
Jason, how are you?
Doing fantastic. Privileged to be here with you guys at the Lone Star 140. It's been a good beginning of the race.
It sure has. If you could get a little closer to your mic, a little quiet there.
Not a problem at all. I'll talk up a little louder. That should fix the problem.
So yeah, we've got 20 plus competitors out here chasing one of the most difficult and challenging circuits on the NASCAR circuit, really on every circuit that races here, and so far they're putting in some great times.
And looking good doing it. Because there are so many contenders this week, I had to do more than one again. So we have 3 winners for the Tech4Troops Scheme Skirmish. We're going to pull the car numbers up here shortly. I did want to let all of our viewers know that the second annual Tech4Troops Golf Classic is Monday, September 11th. So check tech4troops.org for more info and follow us on different socials. We'll be posting all day.
Sounds
I know
great.
you guys are on the edge of your seats. So without further ado, I'm just going to give you the car numbers. Hopefully you can pull them up for me.
Yep.
We're going to start with the 56 car.
The 56. I don't think I've got a 56.
Got
Okay.
a 54. There's David Watts, but yeah, no 56
That was
on my
it.
end.
Yep,
That
David.
was
Yeah, I wish I could pull up David. He's still in the pits, so I don't have access to his car. But congratulations, David, in the 54.
not a problem. Let's go to the 48 car.
We can get to Philip. He's currently on pit road. Let's see if we can bring in.
There he is.
Here he is.
Looking good too. That's really, it's sticking with that orange and yellow paint scheme.
I think I keep referring to that as the Cheeto car. So yeah.
Yeah. It looks like it would come off on your fingers. Absolutely. And then for our final winner for the Lone Star 140, we're looking at the 24 car.
All right. Let me see.
I don't see a 24 on my end. Rick, double check.
No, I don't.
I believe it was Zach Allen.
That sounds about, I believe that's correct. Yep, Zach Allen.
But he
Sounds
is,
right, Rick.
It does, but
But-
Zach is not in tonight's event.
Huh.
Got
You
a
know-
Zach Ward.
That, boy, go through and look again.
Yep, I'm just Going through our list of drivers.
Well, clearly there's been some errors made on my part. We're going to clear those up, and we will get the awards out to the correct parties. Me and numbers, we don't get along so well. So
No
I'm going to
worries.
take the hit there. I'm trying to watch these numbers as they go by at 180 miles an hour, and it's I'm not always successful.
Well,
So I just wanted to say, you guys all look great tonight. I'm proud to be here. Just great race.
well, we appreciate you. So that's Jason Parker with Tech4Troops. He comes on each week to hand out some of that Tech4Troops cool loot to these drivers. They make an effort each and every week to get their cars painted up, and whether they do it themselves or they've got a painter who does the paint scheme for them. Right now, we've got a couple winners. John Ledger shown there, but David Watts and the 48 of Philip Vandertwick is our second winner, and someone out there is our third that David will get back to us and let us know just who it is.
Alrighty, 26 laps to go here in tonight's event, and Charles Van Scoik is assuming the lead now with a 9-second gap on David Clayman. Let's make a couple notes. Looks like Ian Ogden had to come down and get a drive-through penalty. So unfortunate there for Ian. Ryan Pittman did not take tires. Van Scoik did not take tires, and John Ledger is off. John Ledger is off in turn 17, I believe. He's had some issues with these hard braking corners, Rick. We've mentioned that a couple times, but that's the second time he's been in the sand.
It is hard. It really is a challenging course. So
It is, especially with I think, with he had an injury earlier that probably is not helping his abilities there. So especially turning left and right, it's hard to do for anybody, even if you don't have anything going on. So still shout out to John for being able to keep going. It takes a lot of attrition just to get through the hard times and push on through. So shout out to you, John.
So right now we've got everybody has made it down for one pit stop or another, ranging from lap 12 to lap 14. So that looks like our window is, worst case, it's 14. So we'll see drivers back down between lap 24 and 26, which is about now.
Yep, it looks like we may see another round of pit stops. It seemed like the first 13 laps took a long time compared to the. Well, actually, what lap are we on? We're on lap 16. We're on lap 16. So we're going to see pit stops in 10 laps.
10 laps.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, wow, that second 13 really flew by really quick, Rick. I was like, wow, that was a quick turnaround. So
Again, more math.
We'll see that here soon.
More math.
Yeah, again, more math.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. You're not going to miss anything. We'll be side by side. Again, thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network. We'll be right back.
When veterans get out of the military, a lot of them don't know how to translate their skill sets into the civilian world, and they lapse into poverty or into homelessness. But it can be easier with the right support. At Tech4Troops, our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce. We want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
All right, we're back. So welcome back to the Tech4Troops Cup Series. We are in Texas at the Circuit of Americas and the Tech4Troops Lone Star 140. I'm Rick Souza here with my co-broadcasting buddy, John DeRugis, bringing you, like we do each and every week, the Tech4Troops Cup Series. And this week, round one, race two of the playoffs, we're at a road course, but not just any road course. David Clayman may have just gone. Let's go back and
Something
look.
happened with Clayman.
Let's go back and look.
What happened to the 17?
I think turn one.
Did it bite him?
Locked it up.
Trying to get around and, well.
That wasn't too bad.
No, not bad at all. He lost a lot of time, but still 5 seconds back from Charles Van Scoik. Now, he did take tires, Rick, which I think is helping him quite a bit. If you look at the lap times, he's gained over 4 seconds on Charles Van Scoik. So could tires be the best case here?
Well, one of the things that you do learn here at a road course, going into the pits, even under green flag conditions, time is not your enemy. It's not that bad.
Right, exactly. And I'm thinking right now, just looking at the data, I think tires, you want to have them because Van Scoik has been able to gain a lot of time on, or Clayman, my bad, has been able to gain a lot of time on Van Scoik. So
I think Charles just kind of may have gone off track a little bit. Let's just kind of take a look back real quick. Not bad, but he may have just cut the...
a little bit.
Yep, not bad. Yeah, it's very funny. So our timing tower tells us information, but it goes by our guesses. The letter of the law when it comes to what's inbounds and what's out of bounds, and frankly, what's inbounds in iRacing or what's out of bounds in iRacing is nowhere near what is happening in NASCAR. There's much more leeway in NASCAR than there is in iRacing.
Correct. And that's where we're going to see a lot of differentiating lines and differentiating, track lap times and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's one of those things. Rick, I got to say, Clayman's now closed the gap to 3 seconds. Tires matter, especially on the long run here. Now, with Van Scoik not taking tires, he's going to have to do it this next time around. He's going to have to, because going the entire race on one set of tires just seems like a recipe for disaster, especially with how many times you're turning left and right. But right now, David Clayman's already got it to 2.7 seconds, Rick. It's tires
closing.
make a difference.
Yeah,
tires make a difference. Now, another thing I want to pay attention to is, and I need to pull up the entries, incident limits. Right now, Joey Doucette is at 16. John Ledger is at 15. Those are the two closest drivers at risk of a drive-through penalty at 20 incidents. The one driver that had gone over was John Ledger. So at 22, don't want to pay close attention to that.
Did Ian Ogden also get one? I think he did as well.
Yeah, Ian Ogden was the one that went through the drive-through penalty. John Ledger has 15 incidents. Joey Doucette has 16. So at 20, Ian Ogden, my bad, is the only driver to go in through a drive-through penalty for incident limits. And right now, looking at the drivers, the only driver that hasn't had an incident, it's Ryan. No, I take it back. Two drivers. Ryan Pittman and David Watts are the only two cars. David Watts not on the track, but Ryan Pittman current running in fourth. No incidents at all, which means no off tracks, no bumps ins with anybody. He has kept his race entirely clean, Rick. That's amazing.
Super smooth. Let's not curse him. But
Ryan.
No,
Ryan. Hope you're not listening to me. I hope you're not listening to me, Ryan.
But no, he's super smooth with how he approaches. In fact, we can actually go on board.
Very smooth approach, and he's not overly aggressively attacking the corners, but he's not just lightly going through them. He's going in methodically.
He's not giving anything up. He's just
hard turn one, a little bit high, but still makes the corner. And Rick, I want to not to take the spotlight off of Ryan Pittman, but the gap has closed in for the leader. It's now down to just 1.5 seconds in closing between David Clayman and Van Scoik. Clayman is on the move and looking to regain the lead. You got to think about this. Van Scoik's on 20 lap old tires. Clayman's on 7. I mean, it's definitely a difference. Here comes Clayman down into one of the hard left-hand braking corners, locked it up. Don't want to do that.
Ian Ogden's on pit road. Coming up to almost the halfway point here with this race, and it is a tight battle between Charles Van Scoik, who's currently leading, and David Clayman back there in second. Mark Hanna's about 8 seconds off the leader, and Ryan Pittman about 15 seconds, but they're just taking their time.
They are, and they're getting around here. Mark Hanna as well, sitting there in fourth, has 5 incidents. So still keeping his stuff clean. But looking at David Clayman is attacking every corner with a vengeance. He is looking at every corner like his last meal. He is just going at it. And you could tell when he drives into the corner, he just dives in so much deeper than Van Scoik and anybody I've ever seen in this race. Right here, you'll be able to, maybe a little bit. Really in turn 1, you can tell. But right now, looking at David Clayman on the tower when it comes to incident points, he only has 6. Van Scoik only has 6. So shout out to those guys for keeping it clean up there. But we just got to lap 22, which is right around halfway. Or lap 21, rather.
Yep, 21 laps to go here. Oh, right there, tight. Less than 1 second. That gap has shut right down.
This is where Clayman's been able to gain a lot of time. Let's see if he's able to do it. Just he has better tires, so he can grip the corners a little bit better. He's going to suck up right to the back bumper of that 41 car.
That gap now is pretty much gone. There's nothing separating these drivers but a couple car lengths, as David Clayman is right there. And you're right, tires have made a difference for David.
And here we go. This is going to be a hard braking corner for David. Let's see if he's able to make a move. He's been very late on the brakes. Here he comes again. It's so noticeable, Rick. I mean, it's 2 different lines, 2 different methods of driving. Yeah, exactly.
They just enter the DRS zone.
Just imagine if NASCAR had DRS, Rick.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
Crazy.
They should go back to the car of tomorrow if they want to implement a DRS system. Have the wing on the back.
Yeah. Next gen.
Just
next gen. Next gen.
The next gen. Bring back the COT wings. Everybody would love that.
Oh, yeah. All right, thank you for tuning in and joining us here tonight on Wednesday night. Not your typical oval battle between these drivers. Something a little bit different here as they battle in one of the more challenging road courses here, and it just happens to be in the U.S.
It does, and David Clayman, he's there, Rick. He wants it bad, and his tires are better than probably anybody's.
Yeah, but he's respectful, though. He knows that he's got better tires, but he is not hammering. He's now looking for the opportunity. Here he's got it.
Oh, no, he takes Charles Van Scoik out.
Not terribly, though. Jeez. They've got these guys that built up so much of a lead. It's almost 10 seconds. Now it's down to 6 seconds over the nearest competitor, which happens to be Mark Hanna.
It happens to be Mark Hanna, but Rick, I don't think Van Scoik's too happy about that.
I don't think he is either. There may be a little unhappiness there in the in the 41. Clayman wanted that position, and he took that position.
And here comes Van Scoik to the inside. Here's Van Scoik right to the back bumper in a hard braking zone, Rick. We're about to approach. Is Van Scoik going to make the same move? Here he goes. Oh. He boots him. But he made the corner. Kind of. Uh-oh. Side-by-side battle. As we go down. Oh, Rick, this is exciting stuff.
These guys are definitely battling. They're coming up to their next turn.
Who's going to outbrake the other driver? Van Scoik's going to have to give a little bit. Oh, there's contact. Clayman locks it up big time off the track. But still retains the lead. Oh!
More contact.
Van Scoik isn't happy, Rick. Van Scoik is not happy at all. David Clayman overshoots it, which is going to give the door back open to the 41. Who's going to break into this corner a little bit better? It looks like Clayman now, but you're going to see a crossover move for Van Scoik possibly.
He's blocking him. He's trying to hold that position. Yeah, trying to block on a road course is not easy.
I don't think we're... Oh, there's the bumper again from Van Scoik to the back of the 17. Sends Van Scoik a little bit wide, but there's David Clayman. Clayman's still there, Rick. So, okay, are we going to get... Here we go. Are we going to see another boot
We're
from
back
the
to turn
Here
one.
we go. Oh, he dove it in there deep, Rick.
He took
17's
it.
diving into the corner. He has the position.
Oh.
Doors the 41. And what has this done, Rick? This has allowed Mark Hanna to come within a second of the leaders. While these guys are beating and banging for position, Mark Hanna is now within a second of taking the top spot.
Oh, yeah, he's in the frame every time.
Here comes Mark Hanna again to the back doorstep of the 41.
You know, there's no fast repairs in this race, so if you've damaged your nose by banging into the guy in front of you, you're gonna pay the price.
You are going to pay the price, and I don't know how much damage the 41 has or the 17 has, but one thing I do know, Rick, this doubled. Them battling like that doubled both of their incident points. David Clayman was at 6, now he's at 14. Charles Van Scoik was at 6, now he's at 13. So now you play the game, okay, is there going to be at a risk of somebody getting a drive-through penalty towards the end of this? Who knows?
A lot of time left, 19 laps to go here. Our track map seems to have disappeared.
Taking a break. Went to get a hot dog. Or some barbecue. Maybe we could go get some Texas barbecue at the track.
I heard the nachos are pretty fabulous here at this track.
Oh, may have to. Sounds good to me. Nachos sound really good right now. I'm not going to make my way over to Coda for it, but it sounds like a plan. There we go.
Bit of a reload.
Exactly. But Rick, I got to say, that was probably one of the more intense battles we've covered here on the IWM Broadcast Network, where both drivers have kept going.
Yeah. So there was a lot of that door-to-door. There was a spin, but they recovered and they were able to get right back into it. And it's not over yet. That was a big mistake by the 17. David Clayman a little bit wide there. Another opportunity for Van Scoik to kind of catch up, but Van Scoik is still on old tires.
He is, and we're about to enter that pit stop window here in about 2 laps. So Van Scoik is just hoping and praying that he can stay right up to the back doorstep of the 17 of Clayman, because, Rick, I got to tell you, I think we all know what's going to happen if Van Scoik gets to the back bumper of that 17 car again. It's going to be what happened in turn 1. You can best believe that Van Scoik is not happy with what happened, but he's been able to keep that up there. Look at this. I think with the battling, Rick, it almost leveled out the tires a little bit, because Clayman's not pulling away from the 41 at all.
No, their last laps together were within a tenth of each other. But they are catching the 21 of Ian Ogden. Ian's a lap or so down. Ian Ogden is 1 lap down, and he is currently right there in front as the leaders make their way past the 21 of Ian Ogden.
And Rick, it looks like Van Scoik is catching that 17 car, and then Mark Hanna is still in the picture. So it's still anybody's game up here at the front. I mean, it looks like David Clayman's car is just not handling well at all right now.
Well, I think between being punted a couple of times, going off-road, and you can see him right there smoking his tires a little bit. The older tires and the late braking is not his friend.
No, and here comes the 45, Rick. Here's the thing. Is this going to be like an Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick, or I guess was it Ross Chastain instead of Tyler Reddick move? Kind of right here at the same portion of the track. All these guys going, door to door and battling, tooth and nail. Are we going to see another driver emerge like Mark Hanna, who's been able to keep his car clean and stay out front? So here we go. Here's a run by the 41, though, Rick, down in the 1. Probably Van Scoy's best chance to get around the 17.
Well, the 45 right there behind him, he has not had all the issues that I'm guessing that the 17 has. Again, the 17 locks it up again, smokes his tires.
41 locked it up too.
And the 45 is just sitting there. That's, again, Mark Hanna waiting for an opportunity. Jesse Vaughn is in the pits. Jesse Vaughn was in fifth.
Go ahead.
So Jesse Vaughn was sitting in 5th. He is out. It looks like he took fuel and right side tires.
Probably a good move. And what I was going to say was, Rick, this is huge for Mark Hanna. Mark Hanna is sitting 15th in points. If he can end up, obviously a podium is massive, but if he could end up winning this race because the other drivers are battling, I mean, what a playoff upset that could be. When it comes to all the other drivers who won a race this season and has been, having a lot of top 5s and top 10s, Mark Hanna's been up there a little bit, but a 15th place spot, that pushes somebody else out.
Remember, Mark Hanna qualified 2nd?
Yes, I believe he did.
He did. So, Van Scoyk was on the pole. He gets that Owl's Nest Racing Pole Award, but Mark Hanna was sitting right there in 2nd. So he's in a very enviable spot right now because he's got these two guys battling door to door right in front of him, and if they spin each other out, he's
in a catbird seat.
He sure is, absolutely. Now all these guys have got to come back down pit road one more time. I'm guessing it's any time now.
It should be any time. We'll see what happens. I mean, obviously these guys need tires up front. Not going to be this time, though. There's the pit entrance right there. David Clement sliding out of turn 20 again. But yeah, it's going to be a battle all the way to the end. And Mark Hanna, they have a 20-second gap on everybody else. So we'll see how this plays out as the race goes on. Clayman goes a little bit high, which is going to open up the door for the 41 to come back. Just a little bit.
Had some incident on track with Christoph Hall and William Mann. Not sure just what happened to those guys.
I gotta say, though, I'm very impressed with Van Scoyk's ability to keep up with Clayman, even though he has literally 13-lap older tires. I think that's amazing. Obviously, there's fall off to a point.
He started on.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously there's fall off, but I guess there's a point where it plateaus, and because they're about even on lap time. And look at that, the 41 diving down deeper into the corner and a more aggressive than Clayman. So I mean, it shows, I guess, on the back end of the runs it could help you out a little bit, but very interesting strategy play as we're now approaching 16 to go, lap 26. This is where I would expect some of these guys to come down, like you mentioned, Rick. Should be coming down here very soon.
Yeah, unless we are misinterpreting the fuel calculation. But
possibly.
It just seems to me that based on our math, how long that fuel would last. But hey, we're watching it here, and we're watching just like you, the viewer, is. So, well, we appreciate.
It looks like.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, it looks like Ian Ogden got another drive-through penalty as well. Just happened a second ago, so that is his 2nd of the night.
Unfortunate for Ian. Ian was the winner of our last race of the playoff of the regular season to get himself. Hey, driver leaders are on pit road. Leaders on pit road. Mark Hanna.
All 3 of them.
Mark Hanna missed. No, he spun getting on pit road.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Mark. Such a good run. Let's see what these guys do. You got to take 4. That's my bet. You got to take 4 tires, right?
Let's see. Oh, Clayman overshot his pit slightly. He is going to get off. All 4 tires, both drivers.
Van Scoik
Marcana
out.
still in the pits.
Yep, Van Scoik out, Clayman out. See if they get through turn 1 cleanly. Van Scoik does. Clayman does. Oh, he does it. He spins. Clayman spins. And Van Scoik got a little loose. And there's Mark Hanna for second. Here comes Mark Hanna. Don't know what he was going to do there. Kind of in a tough spot, but that's going to shake up things. Now there's a 10-second gap, Rick, between, or about a 7-second gap between what we think is first and second place, Van Scoik and Clayman after the round of pit stops go through.
Yeah, Ryan Pittman is currently showing out front. Now, interesting, Jesse Vaughn, he already pitted his second time, and he is actually showing in third, in between Charles Van Scoik and David Clayman.
He's going to have to go 17 laps, though. Can he go 17? Because he pit on lap 24, and with
I think
41 laps being run. He's been right on the fuel strategy before. He ran the longest last week at, where were we at? Kentucky. So, yeah, he knew the strategy there. So we'll see if Jesse Vaughn can pull a little bit of an upset here. A non-playoff driver winning, that would be huge.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be side by side. You won't miss a thing. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the Tech4Troops Lone Star 140 here at Texas. We've got really a great battle happening between Charles Van Scoik and David Clayman. They're right there battling. There's a little bit of a gap between them. Ryan Pittman is currently showing as your leader, but Ryan needs to pit. He has not pitted yet. He is the last of the number of 3 or 4 drivers that have yet to go into the pits. They will need a second. They will need a pit stop to make it the whole way. Ty Bostic is currently in and on pit road at this time. So, John, we've seen these guys battle. Right now, Jesse Vaughn, he's the interloper. He's kind of put himself now in second place. He's pitted already. He's got Van Scoik and David Clayman, who have been fast as could be, right behind him. But he's going to wind up being in first place as soon as Ryan Pittman goes in.
It absolutely could be, and that's something interesting we need to think about, because Jesse Vaughn is not a playoff driver. So if Jesse Vaughn wins this race, that means there's another spot up for grabs.
Yeah, it'll all be on points. It'll be transferred. It won't just be an automatic spot in. So there'll be someone who comes in on points. Ryan Pittman still continues to make his way around, currently showing in first. Ryan's pretty much has about a turn and a half of car distance between himself and Jesse Vaughn. The last lap, though, Jesse was a full second and a half faster than Ryan Pittman.
Yeah, Ryan Pittman's going to have to come down here fairly soon and give up all that track position So it's going to be close,
Here
but I
he
think
is.
it's going to be a matter of time. There he is.
There he is. He's on pit road. So Jesse Vaughn will take over as he goes past the start-finish line momentarily, and he will take over the lead here with 13 laps to go.
Yep. John Ledger just had a drive-through penalty as well. Want to note that. And really quick, Joey Doucette is 1 incident point away from a drive-through. David Clayman is 5, and Charles Van Scoik is 5.
And if you haven't been watching and you're just tuning in now, that's because they beat the doors off each other for about 5 laps.
There was definitely a little bit of pent-up emotion, I think, between the 41 and the 17 there. You could tell driving to the corner, beating and banging, classic racing. And right now, Van Scoik is on the better end of that stick. So we'll see what happens. Now he's still battling Jesse Vaughn for potentially what will be this win, but I think it's going to be really close on gas for Mr. Vaughn.
Yeah, there's about a 5-second delta between Charles Van Scoik and David Clayman. Ty Bosick is on pit road. Just keep you update with what's happening on pit road as these guys begin to chip away. Ty was I think there's one more driver, Sammy Harrell, who's in 12th, and William Mann Jr. as well, who last pitted on lap 14, who have yet to come down, but we expect them. This is kind of like the last lap they can do that on. But Jesse Vaughn continues to lead here at COTA with just 13 laps to go. All right, we'll take you back currently right now back through the field. Jesse Vaughn is your current leader. Behind Jesse sits the 41 of Charles Van Scoik. We've talked about Charles all night tonight. There, at this race, his nemesis, David Clayman, is right there back in the 17. In third place, Mark Hanna, we all thought is potentially, if this race changes up a little bit, if there's one incident with those front cars, I think Mark is in a very advantageous move to take advantage of something. Ryan Pittman is back in 5th. That worked out great for with Ryan in that pit stop. Luke Bullard, respectable position, sitting back there in 3rd. Holly Barletta is in the 3 is in 6th. Holly Barletta is in 7th. Zach Ward in the 7th is in 8th. And Joey Doucette is in 9th. And Christoph Hall is sitting back there in 10th. Christoph Hall is about a minute behind the leaders.
Yep, I mean, we know that these GOAT racing guys, they can run strong races, and there's multiple of them in the top 10. So it just proves their skill. It proves their skill to this, and we talked about they always run together typically. So right now, 12 to go. It's go time, Rick. I'm worried about Vaughn's fuel situation though. Maybe he knows something that we don't, but it's going to be close.
He stretched it out pretty well. He's got the 43 of Sammy Harrell. Sammy is the last car on the lead lap in front. Oh, he locked it up just a little bit in that 84. Oh, 43 moved over. Let the leaders go by. David Clayman's beginning to catch up a little bit. We'll see how this plays out. Those guys have a couple laps to the good over Jesse Vaughn here, but will it make a difference? Will fuel be a difference maker here for the 84 of Vaughn? A bit of a wide swing on that corner. That didn't help.
No, not at all. Van Scoik, you know Van Scoik would love to win this after his incident with Clayman.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be a great great comeback. Now, Joey Doucette may have just gone off course. That's not going to help Joey. It's just he was already flirting with incident points, was he not?
Joey Doucette was. He is currently at 19.
Yep. So I'm lock it up and then go off just a little bit, but that was just enough. Jesse Vaughn continues to battle. He's got that extra large fuel line in there. He's got some extra gallons stored there to keep him to the good side of that E. He's coming up on the 88. That's Maurice Burnett. Maurice looks like to give him. Oh! That just changed the entire race.
Yes, it did. Here comes the 41, Van Scoik. You know, who said that you don't have to race around lap cars like you're racing around the guy?
Let's go back and look at that again. Take a different look here. This is the 84 event. The 88 goes low, so he's trying to get out of the way. But with this being a sharp left like that, he has found himself right in
the racing line.
In the racing line. That forces the 84 off track.
And that is a GOAT racing car. So interesting dynamic unfolding there. I mean, that's just a wrong place at the wrong time for the 88.
It didn't exact. Oh, Dave Clayman's on pit road.
Clayman's on pit road. 17 incidents. Don't see anything going on. Does he know that you have to pit another time? I don't think so. I don't know. And so is Mark Hanna.
They just pitted.
Are they topping off on fuel? They gotta be. Yeah, they're topping off on gas, Rick.
There's something we don't know.
It's beyond our knowledge, Rick.
Yep, it is absolutely.
We could dial in and do an in-car in-race interview with Mr. Clayman if you want, see what he's thinking. I'm sure he would love that right now.
Yeah, yep. All right, so we're learning, just like you, the viewer, is exactly how this race is to be laid out. We just saw the 17 of Clayman and the 45 of Mark Hanna go down with 10 laps to go and top off fuel after they just pitted on lap 26. So I guess they're thinking that they may not have had enough, because that would have, if they pitted on lap 26, that would have been 15 laps to go.
Yep.
Yeah, so they would have so maybe Charles Van Scoik does need to come down and top off. And Jesse Vaughn, that's the real question.
That's the big question, because he pit last on 24. There's 10 to go. That means he's going to have to go, like I mentioned before, 17 plus laps on this tank. 18 laps. I don't know if it's possible.
On top of that, you got to figure that this Jesse Vaughn's on pit road. Hits the inside retaining wall in the safer barrier. Definitely a little hot on pit road.
Just a little bit. And David Clayman now goes around. That's not Van Scoik, is it?
Van Scoik is your leader. Jesse
Clayman's all the way in the back.
Road.
Yeah. I was looking at that. I saw another purple car. And I thought it was Van Scoik, but it wasn't.
Clayman and Hannah are currently sitting in 4th and 5th. So based on that, we've got to assume that the 41 will have to come back down and top off. Now, a road course is a little bit different than an oval. We don't have many, if at all, full cautions that shut down the entire track. In fact,
Right.
we just don't. So, you're pretty much running flat out from start to finish. So the opportunity for the entire field coming down onto pit road is pretty scarce. So you're managing your time and your fuel. So we're down to single digits here, 9 laps to go at the Lone Star 140 here at COTA in the Tech4Troops Cup Series. Charles Van Scoik drifting around that corner is currently your leader. Ryan Pittman is currently in second, but he's about 10 seconds behind. Further on back is Jesse Vaughn he's 19 seconds behind. David Clayman, 26 seconds. Mark Hanna, 28. So Charles has got himself a pretty good lead if he needed to come down and top off. This is the time to do it now. He has not taken tires this entire race.
Charles Van Scoik hasn't? I thought he took tires last time.
I thought no, you are correct. I'm sorry. I was thinking that he hadn't, but still, he still has to come back down pit road.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, his last time was 15:02 seconds. My mistake.
I was about to say, if he's running on if he's running on the same tires, I know there were things going on within iRacing with trying to catch people cheating. If there's going to be a sticky tire glitch, Van Scoik knows it because he's fast. No, Van Scoik, obviously, he's out of Clayman and Vaughn, probably the one to beat here tonight, obviously. So shout out to him for a great race. And, yeah, we'll see what happens. 8 laps to go, and Jesse Vaughn's back there. We know Van Scoik has to pit. Pittman came down on lap 28, so he may be good to go. Could Ryan Pittman win this?
He is
He's
setting
suited to
himself
good.
up. Yeah, he's potentially locked up. Charles Van Scoik locked up his tires. After racing now for an hour and a half plus, these guys, your concentration level has to be high. Your muscle memory has to be high. It's exhausting. You don't get a chance to take a breath.
Absolutely.
And it's easy to make a mistake here, and that mistake, you've got to do 41 laps with 20 corners per. That's over 800 turns. For this race, it's easy to make a mistake. I think David Clayman may have had an issue. We'll go back to David Clayman real quick. Nope, just slowed down and ran right up against. Anytime your car touches the grass, iRacing thinks you're off track.
Yeah, you're cheating. You're doing something wrong, which I think that's one thing that I think about road course racing. It can be altered a little bit within the iRacing. Obviously, they want to be as realistic as possible, but there are times when you're not gaining an advantage by going off track. Now, obviously, there's track limits, of course. But in NASCAR, Rick, didn't they remove the track limits for COTA and other tracks like this?
They did. They certainly softened it. You saw that at Watkins Glen, that turn coming out of the first turn at Watkins Glen, where it was where it was a not so much a penalty per se, but you know going off track before was going to hurt you. Now it's part of the racing surface.
Exactly. So, I mean, I think iRacing could maybe implement something that, it's not either all track limits are counted versus no track limits are counted, but, kind of like qualifying scrutiny a little bit, reduce that. Is that an option? I actually don't know. I've never thought about it. Is there a track limit and incident limiter and like scrutiny, like strength changer? Is that a thing? Do you know?
I don't think you can change that when you create the event, but I think NASCAR could, when the designers and the managers of these tracks, they lay out the racing line. They could just as easy move over that. They could widen the racing line to allow that car to come across, into that grassy right there. They could just as easily say, okay, you can come up onto the grassy strip there. It's going to penalize you by just a little bit of loss of time, but it may not add an incident point to your total.
Exactly.
Just let the mistake count against you just in the time it takes to execute. Now, if you cut your way through the S's or go inside the turtles, there's a problem, and they should, realistically, give you a hard time about it.
Sure, as they should. I mean, that I agree with for sure.
So Ryan Pittman, just to put it out there, was a second faster than Charles Van Scoik on that last lap.
Is Van Scoik saving?
Is it possible he is just kind of coasting around? We can bring up his speed.
Also, it looks like Ty Bostic got a meatball flag. Charles Van Scoik is clutching, trying to save fuel through the S's. That is confirmed. Not sure if you saw the same message from race control as I did, but I saw that.
Gotcha. So Ty Bostic, where exactly did he get into an incident? Let's go back and take a look.
A little wide there. Yep, that'll do it.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you a meatball, though.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Little odd. It is a simulation. Sometimes they can be right, sometimes they can be wrong. It looks like, is this left front toe link broken? Looks like there's a lot of damage on the left front. Yeah, his toe link's broken. Still competitive.
With the broken toe link, but that's going to definitely give you a meatball flag.
I mean, he's going around these S's like it's or going through these corners like it's nobody's business.
Maybe it's helping him.
Hey, NASCAR, if you're watching, angle the tires a little bit like it's a broken toe link. These cars will drive better. Yeah. I mean, look at that tire. That thing is all just gone to the wrong direction. But who's going in the right direction is Mr. Van Scoik. He is out there leading the field. And, Rick, it's a 3.5-second gap right about now. Can Van Scoik do it?
Well, if it's anything, like you said before, it's 5 laps. That's just over 10, 12 minutes. But again, that last lap, let's take a look at the last lap. That last lap, Ryan Pittman was still 1 second quicker. He is catching up 1 second at a time. That means he's 3 seconds behind, 5 laps to go. I don't know. It's going to be close. I mean, Jesse Vaughn 16 seconds back, Clayman 24 seconds back. I think it's going to come down to Jesse Vaughn and Ryan Pittman right there. They're both in the frame. If you make a mistake, that car is going to take advantage of you.
Oh, 100% it will.
Is Ryan still clean on his incident points?
Let me look. Ryan is, he has 3. He has 3. Still 3 incidents, and you're going over 800. You're turning over 800 times, Rick. That's incredible. That's incredible.
Gap is down to 2 seconds. Does Charles need to stop? Ryan's got 2 laps to the good on fuel. Now I say 2 laps to the good, that's 7 miles.
Yeah, it's a long way to go around. I mean, you're gonna have to save a lot of fuel, Rick. I don't know if he saved that much though. I guess we'll find out, right?
We sure
Find out
will.
soon here in a couple laps.
We sure will. Stay tuned. 4 laps to go here at COTA. Got one more commercial break. Let's go ahead and take that now. It's side by side. Again, you won't miss a single thing.
When veterans get out of the military, a lot of them don't know how to translate their skill sets into the civilian world, and they lapse into poverty or into homelessness. But it can be easier with the right support. At Tech4Troops, our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce. We want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
Hello, my name is Amanda, and I support Tech4Troops.
All right, we're battling here. 4 laps to go. It's now down to less than 1 second. Ryan Pittman and Charles Van Scoik. Thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troops Cup Series. Each and every Wednesday night, we are in the second race of the first round of playoffs here at the Circuit of the Americas. And we have got a battle for the lead and potentially a battle for the win with just 4 laps to go. Ryan Pittman is right on the tail of Charles Van Scoik. About to come through turn 20 and head towards the start-finish line. You know, Ryan Pittman on that last stop may have only taken fuel or one-sided tires. Oh, he makes the pass.
Here we go. Ryan Pittman to the lead.
Ryan Pittman, your new leader with 3 laps to go.
Can he hold on to it? Can Pittman hold on to it?
Already out to almost a full second ahead of second place Charles Van Scoik. Now Charles has been nursing his fuel. He does not have the fuel to be slamming in there trying to make up time and chase down Ryan Pittman. He can't do it.
Not at all.
He's got to go in next time by and get fuel.
Exactly, he does, and that's, I think, is going to be the final nail. I mean, could Van Scoik have enough? I don't think so, but with 14 seconds between Van Scoik and Vaughn,
Does
there's
Ryan
no
Pittman
other
have enough fuel?
Exactly.
I show Luke Bullard and Harley Barletta may have gotten into some kind of incident. Ryan almost.
Here comes Van
Spins
Scoik to the
out.
bottom. Can Ryan do the crossover? No crossover to be made. Here comes Ryan Pittman on the inside, possibly, maybe the inside here. It's going to be close, Rick. Ryan Pittman's there. He has the car.
Does Charles have the fuel to continue to be battling this hard? He can't block his way around the track.
No, he can't.
You already know he was clutching it through the S's. Try and save fuel. Oh, Ryan Pittman overdrives the corner.
And there's Van Scoik to the lead again.
Taking advantage. You know, John, I lied. We do have one more commercial to run. We're going to run that right now. Just get it out of the way. Bear with us. We'll be right back.
When veterans get out of the military, a lot of them don't know how to translate their skill sets into the civilian world, and they lapse into poverty or into homelessness. But it can be easier with the right support. At Tech4Troops, our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers to get back in the workforce. We want to support our veterans across the nation.
I'd feel terrible because claiming.
All right, we're back. Thank you for bearing with us. Still 2 laps to go.
We got some drivers close to incident points limits. You got Clayman at 17. You got Van Scoik at 18. Gosh, it's going to be close. I was talking to Rick as we were joining him back. You know, it feel terrible for Van Scoik all the way being up front and possibly, you know, having to make a pass-through penalty or worse, dropped it into the field. Rick, let's say that happens. I don't want it to, but let's say he gets a penalty on the last lap. He can't come in and do a pass-through because he would finish the race and he would automatically be assigned the last position, wouldn't he, if he got on the last lap?
Yeah, it's not going to be it. Whatever it is, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, it's not going to be good at all. But right now we have the battle for the lead with 2 to go. Ryan Pittman, Charles Van Scoik. Can Pittman pull off a win? He has enough gas, but does Van Scoik? That's the question. Do either of these guys? We know that Jesse Vaughn has enough gas. He's 10 seconds back. So if these 2 guys run out of gas, Jesse Vaughn's in the lead. But we have the final lap, Rick. Here we go. White flag at Coda. 2 flagmen out here. Didn't even know that was possible. What we do. Here comes Ryan Pittman to the inside. He takes the low line. Van Scoik is going to try to do the undercut and cross him over. He does. Gets into the back of him. And we got contact and battle going down into the turn 2 in the S's.
Did they get any incident points for that?
He's still at 18 on my side. He is still at 18. No incident points yet for Charles. He's got to keep it clean. Keep that car in front of him. 1 more lap to go. Ryan Pittman in the lead. They're slinging it out. Can Van Scoik pull it off?
Final lap here at Coda. Ryan Pittman on the verge of winning. Stretching it out a bit. Now, we're not sure what Charles has for fuel, but he is definitely on fumes.
Here he goes. He has a good run coming out of this corner. He gained a little bit there, Rick, down to 0.3 of a second. He's got a couple more braking zones he can get this done in because Ryan Pittman's good in the Sector 3 technical section of the track. So you best believe, I mean, Van Scoik's not going to put himself in a position to where he gets any incident points, but he's definitely going to... Oh, Ryan Pittman's loose. There he goes. Here comes Van Scoik to the inside.
Got bit by a turtle.
You got bit by a turtle. Those angry turtles out there, they don't like you very much. If you get a little bit too close, here comes Van Scoik sliding it, going through the technical section. Ryan Pittman there. Van Scoik 2 incident points away from a pass-through penalty. Ryan Pittman is at 9. Here comes Van Scoik
There's
around.
2 turns left.
Oh, Pittman dove down underneath him.
Pittman's out. Is Van Scoik out of gas?
No, Van Scoik is good. Van Scoik he's out of gas. Van Scoik's
He's out of gas.
Ryan Pittman, wait, is he? He's sputtering. He just got a little bit regained. No, he's out. He's officially out. That means Ryan Pittman is going to be the winner for tonight's Tech4Troops Lone Star 140. Got the strategy right and got it done. Rick, the battle's up for second. Here comes Jesse Vaughn. Oh, no. Is Charles going to make it to the line? I think he will, but there goes Jesse Vaughn for third.
I think the first flagman called the race.
Did he?
Yeah, so he made it. He kept his second place, but he is out of gas.
Okay, because I was about to say the next guy in line was going to be David Clayman. So in that order. So wow, what an eventful race, Rick. We had a couple drivers above incident points and got some incidents between David Clayman and Ryan Pittman. What in the world just happened there? What was that all about?
I think just celebration. We're going to call it celebration. How's that?
That works for me.
All right, we're still waiting for the rest of the field to cross that start-finish line. It takes a while for a race like this to settle up. And once we have the final positions, we'll get back. Let's see how we're doing here. Holly Barletta making his way around. He's currently in 6th. And the rest of the field is working their way back.
Yep, takes a while, Rick. Like you said, takes a long time.
It does. There's the 43. He's coming up to the start-finish line. His race is finished. That's Sammy Harrell, who finished in 15th. Behind him, the number of cars trying to finish their event. Sean Shootman getting his race in and finished. I think the last car that will end up crossing will be the 88 of Maurice Burnett. As he works his way through turn 20 and heads to the start-finish line. All right, I think that's the entire field, and yes, absolutely that is the case. Well, we've got the results.
We do got the results, Rick. Let's bring them up here. For tonight's Tech4Troops Lone Star 140, brought to you by Tech4Troops, 1111 Veteran Project, and U-Haul. We got Ryan Pittman bringing home the win. He is going to be your second winner of the round of 16 here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series playoffs, with Charles Van Scoik in second, Jesse Vaughn finishing in third, David Clayman in fourth, Mark Cannon in fifth, Harley Barletta rounds out sixth, seventh goes to Zach Ward, Joey Doucette finishes in eighth, Christoph Hall finishes in ninth, and Ty Bostic rounds out the top 10.
All right, in 11th, you've got Luke Bullard, 12th, Sean Skytman, William Mann Jr. in 13th, Jeff Nairn in 14th, Sammy Harrell in 15th, John Ledger in 16th, Philip Vandertwick in 17th, Maurice Burnett in 18th, Ian Ogden in 19th, and David Watts rounds out the top 20.
And Rick, I believe, as Ryan Pittman is celebrating what an incredible win for him, got on the right side of strategy. Another guy that got on the right side of strategy, Jesse Vaughn, I believe he is now in the booth. Jesse, congrats on your third place finish.
Thank you. That was fun.
Yeah, we were really speculating whether you had enough fuel towards the end there, because you had pitted a little bit after Charles. You saw Charles; he ran out of fuel right at the start-finish line.
Yeah, I don't think I was fast enough to take the lead outright. So the first pit stop, I took right side tires and noticed how much ground I made up on everybody else. So, excuse me. So I took right sides up to that last pit stop and made up a ton of ground, and was hoping they pitted a lap too short. So I was trying to push them, see if they would run out of fuel, and I think in one more lap I would have had both of them. But pretty good for, I think it's the second, third place finish I've had on road courses in the league. So that's pretty cool.
No, it's great. In fact, for a while there, you were really putting down some great laps, and you were in our speculation to be able to pull it off for sure.
Yeah, I'd like to course in the next gen car. It's a lot of fun. So Chicago was cool. We've been practicing a lot here this week, so it was cool. Glad we finished third.
Yeah, it definitely shows. Yeah, congratulations on your P3 finish. Any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, Ian Ogden. He and I were practicing all week here, and then he had some trouble in the race, so he decided to park, and he kind of spotted for me and gave me gaps and stuff. So he kept me up on the wheel, and appreciate that. So that was cool.
All right, there's a thank you out to Ian Ogden for helping out. Well, congratulations, Jesse. Well, we're going to bring in Charles. Chuck has had just an incredible race. Chuck, welcome to the broadcast booth. Welcome to the broadcast booth. That was a heck of a race.
Yeah, another one I could say here. Another one I pissed away, but I pitted one lap too early on the first stint. I was clutching ever since. I lost that race.
Well, we definitely were speculating about how much fuel you had. Clearly, you with every bit of saving you did, you just had enough to cross the coast into the start-finish line.
Yeah, I mean, that thing was puttering coming out of the second to the last turn, and I was like, well, I got to hope he, spins out. In the last one he didn't, and then I don't know where the heck the start-finish line is there. So I at one point I thought I was third, but then I saw I was still second on the relative. So I don't know where the line was.
If you listen to the broadcast, we thought the same thing too. So, but we watched the scoring tower, and you're right. You just basically pulled it off. So, congratulations on your P2 finish. There was a lot of bent sheet metal between you and David Clayman early in this race.
Oh yeah, his me and him practiced, and we had a couple discussions about if someone's faster, we'll let each other go. It was good, and then I was clutching. And he dive bombs me and turns me, so all bets are off. So I made sure he got right to the limited incident. And, there's going to come a point where, I come in here and run with my team, there's going to come a point where the horns are going to come out, and I'm not going to be nice about it. And after the conversations we had this week, and then he does that crap, what I lose by? 4 seconds. I got spun out by him for no reason.
Yeah.
I probably won't be here next week, so I probably won't make the final round of the playoffs or whatever. So, which also ticks me off because Kentucky and Coda I should have won, and I blew both of them. If I'm not in the playoffs, I will be a thorn in his side for the rest of his playoffs if he makes it.
Well, there's a lot of drivers that won't be here next week for Bristol, so you never know.
Yeah, and then as our famous Tony Stewart,
I'm gonna bust his ass.
So.
Well said. Well, either way, good race. Hope you do make it in, and would love to have you a part of the playoff run. Any shout outs tonight before we talk to Ryan Pittman?
Yeah, obviously. Well, shout out to Ryan. Me and him talked beforehand. He was just asking me if he bumped me or did anything wrong, and I said no. I mean, I was clutching, so you kind of had the advantage. You could pick and choose, but. You guys for the broadcast, Elliot for putting up with all the crap that goes on. My teammates over at 43, it's Sammy, Christoph, and Maurice, and then obviously I sponsored him, so my website goatracingdiecast.com, so 20% off promo code giveaway. Giveaway 20. Sorry. But other than that, man, I appreciate it. It was fun. Never put so much practice and work into a track to make a bonehead mental decision, and that cost me a race, but it is what it is. It was fun.
Well, congratulations again on your P2 finish. But we welcome Mr. Ryan Pittman. Congratulations, Ryan.
Yo, that actually works. Oh, yeah, I was pretty close on fuel. Actually, that last run, I was a lot better on fuel than I thought. That second time I came in, I had good old David Watts in my ear, kind of coached me a little bit, give me an idea where everybody was. But I was thinking I had to go one more lap. He's like, no, man, you're good. I had to make it to 28, to finish 28, lap 28. He's like, it's lap 28 now if you want to pit. I was like, really? I was like, I still got 0.8 or something to go, so I could have made it an extra lap. But no, that was fun. Appreciate Charles for putting up with my my actual racecraft rookiness on these road courses. I put in a lot of time, like by myself, to kind of get a decent, consistent lap. But as far as actual racecraft and stuff, I'm lost when it comes to road courses. So I apologize if I did something stupid, but that was fun.
Yeah, just as an overall shout out to Charles, he and has put up really practice sessions almost every day for anybody within the league to get out there and put in the time if they've got it to get around this track. This is not an easy track. This is not your normal road course. A lot of these are blind corners. It's hard to see, and congratulations for you to get out there and be as successful as you were today. I didn't pick you as a road course driver.
I'm not. It's just time over whatever will maybe get you. And really, all I did was just put in consistent, even slow laps comparatively, short shifting and trying to stay in as high as a gear as I could for most of that race, just trying to save that little bit of fuel to get me to the end on, what was it, 2 stops?
Yeah.
So really, it was just short and consistent. But yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Charles for putting up those sessions. I wasn't able to make but a couple of them, but the few that I did, I definitely tried to make time of it. And watching them two, between Charles and David Clayman, watching their laps and trying to learn a little something there, and watching some YouTube. But yeah, appreciate it.
Any shout outs tonight, Ryan?
My teammates, Sean, I had, like I said, David Watts, he was in my ear kind of working with me a little bit, telling me where people were. Had Mr. Vanderwick in there with me in the Discord, so kind of cool to work with him a little bit. He's a great dude. Enjoyed talking to him a little bit. But yeah, other than that, Tech4Troops U-Haul and all the sponsors we got for 1111 project and everybody that makes this thing go round. or round left and right.
There you have it. There's your winner. That's Ryan Pittman. Second was Charles Van Skyke. Jesse Vaughn finishes our top 3, our podium. Next week, John, we are at the High Banks of Bristol.
We're at Bristol, and that's going to be an amazing cutoff race to get to the round 2 of the playoffs. Technically, round 2 is going to be the round of 10. 6 drivers eliminated in round 1, 6 drivers eliminated in round 2. I'll be calling that one, of course, before I make my way over to Bristol on Thursday morning, Rick. So I think it's going to be a 300 lap shootout. The doors are banging. We may see a little bit more contact than we saw tonight, but Rick, it's going to be a good race next week.
It sure is. We're looking forward to bringing you that next Wednesday, same time. The drivers of Tech4Troops move on to Bristol, and I'm sure it'll be being a cutoff race. It'll be a battle. So we appreciate all of those who have tuned in tonight on whichever stream you are following, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. I think we're still on tonight, or Twitter. We appreciate you tuning in and being a part of this. And if you could, like or subscribe to keep up to date on everything that happens on the IWM Broadcast Network. We also have next week a cutoff race for our Thursday night coverage with the iNASCAR League. So again, tune in to the IWM Broadcast Network and stay tuned. Again, thank you for John and myself. We appreciate you, and have a great night.
Good night.